This is not religion. This is restoration. This is not conspiracy. This is memory. This is for the seekers who've always known something was missing. We do not water down. We do not soften the edge. We read the scripture that was never meant to survive. If you're ready, really ready, we plug in now. They taught you creation, but never told you what was destroyed before it. They gave you a Messiah, but buried the book he read. They told you the world fell, but not who pushed it. You were born into amnesia, into a world that skipped a chapter. This is that chapter. The Watchers were not demons. They were high-ranking angels. Grigori, tasked with overseeing Earth. Their leader, Samyaza or Shemyaza, not Satan, not Lucifer, something different. They descended on Mount Hermon and took a blood oath to sin together or perish together. What sin? To take human wives. To leave their heavenly nature and enter flesh. Genesis 6 and 1 Enoch 6 through 7 confirm. They bore children with the daughters of men. But ask yourself, why would heavenly beings risk eternal damnation for women? Angels are not male or female. In spirit, they are form and force. But when they saw femininity embodied, something awoke in them. The curve of the flesh, the rhythm of hips, the divine ability to birth. Spirit doesn't bleed. It doesn't crave, until it sees what only flesh can do. They didn't fall for lust. They fell for awe. Samyaza didn't just want to possess women. He wanted to become part of their world. The flesh was not their prison. It was their seduction. What if it wasn't just lust? What if it wasn't the flesh? What if it was creation itself? The angels were powerful, but they were not creators. They could observe, influence, guard, even fall, but they could never make life in their own image. And here stood the feminine, soft, earthly, divine, with a womb that mirrored the Creator's most sacred trait, the power to bring forth life. To the Watchers, women weren't just beautiful, they were godlike, not because they ruled kingdoms, but because they bleed and don't die, because they can carry souls, the one thing angels were never given. Their rebellion was not just disobedience, it was spiritual envy, a rage at their lack of ability to co-create. Each angel brought a gift, but the gifts had teeth. Azazel taught men to forge swords, craft armor, paint eyes, build mirrors. He brought vanity and war. Barakihal taught astrology, not for wisdom but for control. Penemu taught writing, but also how to lie. Kazdeja taught abortion, root cutting, sorcery. These were not blessings. These were short circuits, tools of rebellion disguised as enlightenment. The children of angels and humans were Nephilim, hybrids of spirit and matter. They were massive in stature, but, monstrous in appetite. They consumed animals, then humans, then each other. Their spirits were just too big for flesh. They tore holes in the world. The Book of Giants, from the Qumran scrolls, says they had names: Mawe, Oya, Haya. These weren't myths, these were rulers. Being so powerful, whole cities bowed to them, and when they died, they didn't leave. The Nephilim died in the flood, but their spirits were too corrupted to return to heaven. They became unclean spirits, bodiless, enraged, roaming the earth. They hunger, they whisper, they influence. Yahusha said, when an unclean spirit goes out of a man, it returns, bringing 7 more. These are not fallen angels. These are the children of the fallen. What if the true danger wasn't the angels, but their records? What if the Watchers left behind books, scrolls, chants, potions, spells, fragments of power encoded in language, books of magic that didn't die in the flood, books of resurrection, still whispering from the shadows? Through their books, the demons are rebirthed, ancient grimoires, occult manuals, lost alphabets. What we call witchcraft might just be Watcher technology, now in human hands. The fallen may be bound, but their knowledge lives on, and knowledge resurrects. I Am sends Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel. Samyaza is bound in the valley of fire. Azazel is thrown into the desert, buried under jagged rocks. Their children are wiped out in the flood. But most terrifying, the Most High tells Enoch not to intercede. They will never be forgiven. Angels, once exalted, are sentenced like criminals. Heaven does not take back the rebellious. Enoch is shown a perfect 364-day calendar, the divine rhythm. But after the fall, calendars shift. The sun, moon, and stars lose alignment. Festivals are off. Sabbaths are miscounted. Daniel wrote, "He shall think to change times and laws." The calendar isn't just math, it's spiritual resonance. When time was broken, so was reality. Where are the female angels? The Bible is silent, but other texts hint at their presence, Shekinah. The divine presence in Jewish mysticism is feminine, Sophia. In Gnostic texts, she is wisdom, exiled for birthing material creation. Proverbs chapter 8. Wisdom cries out in the streets, feminine and eternal. The absence of the feminine in Scripture isn't a truth, it's a redaction. The rebellion began with silencing the mother and still is in practice today. Enoch sees a pre-existent being, the elect one, the Son of Man, the light of the Gentiles. He sits beside the Ancient of Days. He judges both angels and men. This being existed before time, before flesh. And honestly, he knew the story from the very beginning. Sumerian gods, Enki, Enlil, Anu, sky beings who taught man forbidden arts. Ninhursag, the genetic mother goddess. Hybrid kings ruled with divine right. Their story overlaps Enoch's too closely for coincidence. Different tongue, same fall, same cover-up. As it was in the days of Noah, AI, gene editing, Nephilim genetics, astral channeling, fallen influence. The Nephilim spirits never died. The Watchers are still bound, but the children walk free. Plug in. You were chosen to remember. This isn't entertainment. It's a map out of the lie. The war never stopped. It just changed form. The forbidden knowledge? It's not gone. It's repackaged. You call it transhumanism. It's the Nephilim's resurrection. You call it techno-spirituality. It's the Watchers whispering through code. You call it science, but some of it is sorcery with new branding. The Nephilim spirit doesn't need a body. It needs a host. Possession looks like influence, control, appetite, power at any cost. And now it is manifested and wears suits, runs banks, designs the world's moral code, an unseen influential force that scratches at your morality so you can accept its direction to defy God. A mockery. They hide behind celebrity and elite status. They twist media, entertainment, and education. They use crisis to rewrite law. They thrive on chaos because their father is not peace. You wrestle not against flesh and blood. The serpent's seed knows their time is short, and they're dragging as many souls as possible with them. You're not crazy. The veil is thinner now. You feel the tension, the lie beneath the world. You see things others pretend not to. You were born in the end of the age because you chose to fight. They killed Enoch's book. They buried his words. They called your knowing insanity, but you were right to question it because now the war is visible, and the serpent's children know your name. As it was in the days of Noah, AI, gene editing, Nephilim genetics, astral channeling, fallen influence. The Nephilim spirits never died. The Watchers are still bound, but the children walk free. Plug in. You were chosen to remember. This isn't entertainment. It's a map out of the lie. You always knew something was missing. Now you know why. The silence was never empty. It was sacred. And you are the last one they wanted to remember it. Plug in. The emission is over.